Alright, so here we have the daily commuter. It's just a 3.8 liter 5-speed 2000 Mustang, and today we're going to go over the proper ways to clean a throttle body. We're starting to get some of the symptoms of having a dirty throttle body, and I've cleaned out my air filter and my mass airflow sensor, and the symptoms haven't changed, so we've tracked it down to this. And I haven't done this in about 40,000 miles, so it is likely the cause. Alright, so we got all of our intake tubing off of here and out of the way where we can see down into the throttle body. And when we move the throttle plate open, we can see that there's a lot of carbon here, and we're probably not seating our intake throttle blade quite all the way that it's intended to be seated. So anyway, this is probably the cause of most of our issues, and we'll clean it up and see what if we can make things any better. But a lot of this carbon, you got an EGR valve. Most camshafts, they got a little bit of overlap, so when you shut your engine down, they can kind of do a little spit back into the intake. So a lot of this is just unburnt fuel, recirculated exhaust fumes, kind of why emissions aren't the greatest thing. But anyway, we're going to hop in here with our cleaner and get this all cleaned up. But this is pretty nasty. Alright, so what I'm going to use to clean this today is this throttle body and air intake cleaner, and you can pick this up from your local auto parts store. A lot of people like to use brake clean, and I recommend staying away from that. It can damage sensors and shrivel and warp gaskets, and especially on these Fords, they have a coating on the throttle plates there in the throttle body that it's supposed to resist all this corrosive stuff, and spraying on brake clean will erode that away. So we're going to go ahead and stay away from that and use the sensor safe, and the stuff that's made for throttle bodies only costs $4 or $5, so it's not a big deal. Also, we're going to use a toothbrush to get in here and really scrub around and clean this up as best we can. We don't just want to spray it on and hope it cleans things. We need some abrasive action here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this sprayed on here. Just going, and we'll open up the throttle blade, hold it open, and scrub around and clean it up as best we can. So anyway, I'm going to do that, and then we'll check back. Alright, so anyway, we're just going to get our throttle body cleaner in here, spray around as best we can, and then we want to take our old used toothbrush and kind of go around the body of the intake here and get the upper half too. Don't forget to get that even if you can't see it. Clean all this out as best you can. Scrub on the back side of the throttle plate, and when you're all done, you want to just go ahead and use a rag here and get everything wiped out that was loosened up the best you can. And anyway, we're gonna keep going through until this is good and clean, and then we'll get everything reinstalled and give it a quick check, see if it works out. Alright, we got our intake all good and cleaned up here. Our sealing surface of our throttle plate is in a much better shape now, where it actually fully seats, so we should be good. But anyway, you want to be real thorough when you do this. Just keep spraying your cleaner in there, scrubbing it with your toothbrush, and then wiping it out, and just keep repeating. You can't hurt it by doing it too much, so it's always good just to be as thorough as possible. But anyway, we got everything cleaned up real good, and we're going to get all of our intake piping here hooked back up and light her off and see how she does. Alright, so we're in the car and it's running. We're idling much better. Got a nice steady idle. It's not hunting around. Like I said, we were coming to stops and it was just stalling out, and we're not seeing any symptoms of that anymore. Before, like, it was idling so rough, my seats were vibrating, and they're nice and steady, everything. The car feels nice and smooth. So tremendous improvement just by cleaning out my throttle body. Again, there's no replacement for doing just the general maintenance.